Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Playoff Beards here on the Let's Get Ready Network, the Highlights channel. I'm Adelia, that's my buddy Snark, and we're here to talk about the fact that the Stanley Cup's been awarded. It went Vegas Golden Knights in a series that I thought kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Snark, how are you?
I'm fine. 5-game series. I was hoping for catastrophic injuries on both sides. It didn't turn out that way. It was pretty injuries a little one-sided, considering one team was almost $8 million over the cap because of an injury. But we'll see. But we're not here to talk about that. We'll just talk about the action that was the Stanley Cup Finals. 5 games, really one-sided.
My question to you is, was this the worst Stanley Cup clinching game you have ever seen in your life? Because Vegas won Game 5 9-3.
Yeah, I think so. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't imagine. The worst thing is they're up 8-3 or something like that, and they're still trying to go for another one.
Yeah.
Guys, it's just, I just thought it was classless. Trying to get that 9th goal. There was 3 minutes left. You really thought they were going to come back? You really thought they would have the pressure? Just hold on to the puck. Put it in the corner.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It was definitely not very sportsmanlike, to say the very least.
Yeah. But, what are you going to do? They're champs. And they deserved it.
They do deserve it.
They deserved it. Taking nothing away from Vegas, how much I can't stand them, and I wish terrible things upon not only them but their entire families. I wish this from the bottom of my cold and sad heart as a Jets fan. But they were way better than the Jets. They were better than Edmonton. They were just better. They were a better team. They were better than anybody else they could have matched up against. The defense on that team is stellar. The goaltending, they were down to their 4th string goaltender at the time, Aiden Hill.
Yeah.
And still putting up numbers. He's a UFA. He's gonna get paid from someone. It's probably not gonna be Vegas. I can see Vegas trying to run it back with Logan Thompson and with Brossois, not Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill is gonna go get paid somewhere. Depending on something we may talk about later. There's a few places that he's going to get a chance to go, and he's looking for the $4 million range. So he'll be not the most expensive goaltender available, but he'll be he's shown that he can play in the playoffs as long as, you have a defense as solid and as stacked as Vegas is. So as long as you have that, he's going to be fine. But still, he can call himself a Stanley Cup champion. He was there on the ice when it happened. Huge ovation when he lifted the cup. I thought the actual awarding of the cup was quite awkward. Why would you do the sparks when Gary's handing the trophy over? You don't get the picture with Gary. Gary, get the hell out of the way. Honestly, that was brutal. Considering,
I think they did that same thing with Landeskog last year. It wasn't Gary. It was the
Bill Daly?
deputy commissioner. Yeah, Bill Daly.
Winnipeg boy.
But I think they did the same sparks when they handed over the cup thing last year too. It was weird.
Yeah, they did it wrong. They've done it wrong twice. Get out. They don't need to be in the picture. That should be the least thing. When he calls him over, he should give his hand a shake, run out of the way. The captain should wait a second, grab the thing. You know who does it right? Soccer. They just know, and then they lift it and everything happens. That's when it's supposed to happen, not when the commissioner is giving it to you. Oh my God. And it's great to see Gary talking about how great a hockey market is in Vegas 6 years in. Let's wait 10 years. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Of course they're going to be good. There's no tax. There, and it's Vegas. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I try and hate that team. I hate the team, but I love the city. I'm going to say that.
Yeah. Shout out to Caleb one of the members
Yes.
here, team members here at LGRN. For Vegas boy, very happy about the Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup.
I know. It's a childhood dream of his come true. He's been waiting his
All
entire
6 of those
yeah,
long years.
he hasn't been waiting 45 years of his life to see his
Yeah.
team lift the Stanley Cup or whatever. But it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
What did you think of Jonathan Marshall's show being the
Didn't
Conn
like it.
Smythe winner?
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. Didn't like it. He tied for the leading goals. With
he
a guy
did not
that
have the most points.
No.
Eichel had the most points.
Yeah, I wouldn't have given it to Jack Eichel either. Obviously, I would have given it to Mark Stone. He was everywhere and everything for them. If they needed a goal, if they needed an assist, if they needed a huge hit, if they just needed his presence there, Mark Stone was everything for the Vegas Golden Knights. He should have won it, but I think a big deal was to give it to the one of the original Misfits. So they were looking for a reason to. It's like, oh, he tied a guy who only played 2 rounds. It's fine. Also, congratulations to the Winnipeg Jets because they kept him off the score sheet. So, again, 5 games. So
you got to look for the little victories.
God damn it, that's all I get. That's all I get as a Winnipeg Jets fan. And yeah, we're gonna talk about a little bit of off season later, but yeah, 100% it should have been Mark Stone, and not just because he's from Winnipeg. He was what a player he was for them this entire playoffs. Of course, he had lots of rest going into it.
I hate this long-term injured
over.
reserve stuff. I hate it so much.
It's ridiculous. It
should not exist.
No, it'll help out a team like Phoenix, I guess, whatever, that they can sell contracts over to. It's not like other teams. Like other teams use it to get rid of contracts. They don't use it to, bring people in. Tampa, winning 2 Stanley Cups because of it, and now Vegas. But the next team is going to be Denver, who's going to be able to do it. So the Colorado Avalanche. So everyone's going to look.
The only difference is that Landeskog will not be playing at all next year.
Yeah, unless the day before the playoffs start. What a remarkable recovery.
Not
your captain. No, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, but they'll be able to use his money or whatever. They're going to be bringing somebody in.
Yeah, there was a lot of arguing on Twitter prior to the playoffs about people that thought we had put Landeskog on long-term injury reserve this year, and then it's like, no, we didn't do that. Probably should have, but we didn't.
No.
But we're definitely going to be doing that next year for sure.
Let's talk about Florida real quick.
Yeah.
They came in
great postseason for Florida.
They came in on such a run. It's just not just you're saying like physically, emotionally beaten down. Like when we talk physically beaten down, they got the shit kicked out of them. Ekblad, I think he said he had a broken foot.
Ekblad broke his foot during the first round against Boston. He was playing with a torn oblique muscle that happened during the playoffs. And he also dislocated his shoulder twice and at least once had to pass a concussion test, according to Paul Maurice.
Yep. Poor Matthew Tkachuk breaks his sternum.
I can't even imagine how painful that is.
I would imagine it'd be incredible. You don't need to breathe. You don't need to breathe. Like I've had a broken rib, and that was painful. I could imagine if every rib was affected, which would happen with young Matthew. And then guys like Radko Gudas and stuff like that. So many people hurt, but like
Yeah,
we were saying
Radko Gudas
before.
had a high ankle sprain that Paul Maurice said should have kept him out for more than a month. He took one period off and played
When
the rest.
a few years ago, I I stepped off my front step. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just to tell you when the doctor said I'm a friggin' klutz. This is what. So I stepped off my front step. I somehow managed to break my foot and give myself a high ankle sprain. Uh, the high ankle sprain hurt more by maybe 10 times. It is an extremely painful injury.
Oh yeah,
And
I am the queen of spraining my ankle, and a high ankle
what
sprain
a
is
show off. What a breaker.
horrible.
Yeah, it's
Not
awful.
something you brag about.
Yeah.
I can sprain my ankle getting up off the floor, like
Yeah,
literally.
not
So
great.
not great.
And he played hockey. Like
I
of
can't
course
believe he played.
you're basically wearing an iron boot when you play and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They do enough that just to make sure that you can't move, but yeah, you're moving at a significant pace, or you should be. The problem wouldn't even be going forward. The problem is be when you're having to skate backwards. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. But he toughed it out, uh, making himself, a bit of a playoff hero for Florida. But Florida, at least, did not get swept this time. I can't remember who swept them the last time. Probably doesn't matter. But they did get one victory in the Stanley Cup Finals, and it was because of Bobrovsky standing on his
Mm-hmm.
head. He was the Bobrovsky of the previous round, in the round and a half, I guess. Uh, it just wasn't there for the rest of it. I thought it was a shame that they left him in that awful game five, the clinching game. You
Yeah.
know, he
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
Take
He shouldn't have been in
Bobrovsky
there.
out.
Yeah, after the sixth goal and stuff like that. That second period, after they scored that one to make it a little closer, and then everything falls apart. It's like, you guys just take him out. Just take him out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's and it's still a shame. It's still a shame to see them try and add on in the last 2 minutes. Um, I get you have that killer instinct and stuff like that finally. But you
Mm-hmm.
should have a sporting instinct first. And it's like, you have won. You have beaten them. You have a guy down on the ground and you don't keep punching. You won. You're gonna be lifting the championship in 3 minutes. Don't add insult to injury. It meant nothing.
Yeah, and all of them on the ice before the final seconds ticked off too was kind of a little annoying. Like, we
Usually
know
it's
that you've won, but like, come on.
usually it's about 2-3 seconds. I think they were on the ice at 11 seconds left. Like, they started
Yeah.
piling on. It's like, that's guys, it was just an extra 5 seconds. That the rest were just gonna let it go was like, it was fine. Um, what do you think of the refereeing? Just in the, I'm not gonna say for the playoffs as a whole, because I don't think it was great, but just for the finals, what did you think of the refereeing?
It was okay, I guess. Like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst refereeing I've ever seen.
There was nothing really glaring about it.
Yeah.
Uh, Refereeing has become more about game management than actual just calling whatever.
Yeah.
And we always know this going into the Stanley Cup Finals or the playoffs, even. It's a different brand of hockey. It's a lot more physical,
Yeah. There
but
was
still,
that one game we did the watch along to that had like 11 misconducts in it or something.
that was
But other
bananas.
than that,
That was
it
bananas.
wasn't awful.
Yeah, and yeah, calling that second one on Kachuk for nothing is like,
That
uh,
was bad. That was
what are you,
bad.
like, come on, what are you doing? It's like, oh, your mom's at the game. Oh, your mom was here to see you referee and stuff like that. Not about you. It's never about the referees. And one day, hopefully, somebody's going to be able to shake these guys into it. It's not about you. Just call it. Just call it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I don't like that they have the two different rules. I understand it's a lot more physical, but you have to also understand they play by a set of rules. Like, could you imagine the NFL? Uh, they call pass interference one way all year. And in the playoffs, you're allowed to just grab a guy and tackle him as soon as he comes off the line. It's like it doesn't happen, but it happens. That same style penalty happens in hockey every playoff. So yeah, I don't get. Of course, that is to say that notwithstanding that New Orleans Los Angeles Rams game from a few years ago, that
Yeah.
was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. But that was NHL style refereeing at its finest in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, that was the Stanley Cup's over. Vegas has it. Congratulations, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
a lot of Manitobans getting to lift that Stanley Cup.
yeah.
So there was that.
Do you know the thing that annoyed me the most about Vegas winning the Stanley Cup?
Mm.
Has nothing to do with the Golden Knights themselves, but the Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets, are celebrating their NBA championship in Vegas over the weekend, and there's photos of Jeff Green of the Nuggets, who share a building with the Colorado Avalanche, wearing a Vegas Golden Knights jersey, and I got very annoyed.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
You
That's the
know
thing
what?
that annoyed me the
Not
most
good
about Vegas
optics.
winning the Stanley Cup. Not good optics at all.
Not good optics. How about that Stan Cranky? I think he does pretty well.
Cronky. Yeah,
Cranky.
he's done pretty well
Cronky.
for himself.
Cronky.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're not done
Done.
here though.
Oh yeah, we're not
We're not
done.
done.
No. Let's talk a little bit. What do you have a favorite moment just of the playoffs?
My moment is incredibly silly. It's not any like specific thing that actually, like affected a game or anything like that. But you go back to the Hurricanes and Islanders series. There was a moment where each team having a Sebastian Aho on their roster, both of them were in the penalty box at the same time. And that's the most amusing, that's the most long-standing thing I'm going to remember from this playoffs for a very long time. So that moment.
That's made it easy. Just cut and paste. Just cut and paste.
Yep.
I had a couple. Uh, Number one, obviously, and of course, in true Winnipeg Jets fan fashion, it's Adam Lowry scoring with 3 seconds left for the Jets to come all the way back from being down 4-1 to tie the game with 3 seconds left. And of course, the Jets lose in double overtime, but whatever. That Adam Lowry goal was amazing, and I was so happy. And of course, I had the rug taken out from under me, but it is what it is. At least we lost to the eventual champs again. That seems to happen to us quite a bit, but I would say number two, Toronto fans screaming, "We want Florida! We want
That's
Florida!"
hysterical. That's
I
hysterical.
loved it.
Yeah.
I love it. You guys got exactly what you deserve. So we could talk about that real quick. We've talked about it before. The Leafs. The Leafs actually won a playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
19 years of jokes down the tubes. But they've changed now. They've gone to Calgary's former GM. They figure that's the way to the championship. Another team
I
that's
don't know
won.
why.
Whatever. Whatever. Dubas has gone to Pittsburgh. He is assuming the title of president. He's also the interim GM. And they just announced his little buddy Jason Spezza is the assistant GM. So I think you can see Dubas be the acting GM for the season, with Spezza taking over next year.
Yeah.
Couple of different things going on. Laviolette now, the coach in New York. He keeps getting jobs. He's
Yep.
won a championship. He won with Carolina. He hasn't done as well in other places he's been. Does he? Is he the guy to turn around this New York Rangers squad? I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't see
I
it
don't see it
either.
at all. This is a team that also went out and get aging veterans with bad hips. So the
Mm-hmm.
GM has to say, just because we can, maybe we shouldn't. But
Yeah.
as long as they keep performing to lessen their abilities, I'll always be happy. Never going to be a New York Rangers fan. Never in my entire life. We got a few minutes left here. This is not the season finale. We're going to come back in a couple weeks. We're going to talk about the draft in the first day or so of a free agency. But just on the whole, you're a, you're a Colorado Avalanche fan for whatever reason. What did you think of your season as it was?
I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan because I'm from Denver originally.
Doesn't make any
That's a big part
sense.
of it. It
Doesn't make any
makes
sense at
perfect
all.
sense. It makes a lot of sense. Um, I thought that our season was full of perseverance
Yeah.
because we had the injuries like crazy this year. Um, I went into the Stanley Cup thinking that we would get past Seattle, but I didn't think we were going to win again. It would have been nice if we could have, but we didn't get past Seattle, and that's that. We lost almost 500 man games to injury this year, which is a lot. And I'm looking forward to hopefully next season being healthier team because I think we can. I think we are in that window where we can go on a run with this team again, but we need to get some things straightened out. There's the whole Val Nichushkin situation that he's apparently everything's fine. Apparently, like NHL and everybody knows what happened, and like nobody wants to
Bananas.
say what it is though. It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he'll be suiting up for game one next season though. It doesn't look like there's any sort of suspension or anything incoming, so there's that. We'll be playing next season without Landeskog, like we played this season without Landeskog. I'll be actually honestly surprised if Gabriel Landeskog ever plays again. That's just me. The surgery he's having is no joke. So, but for this season overall, I just was impressed with our perseverance to go and end up winning the division and everything. It took it to the last day of the season and all that, but it happened. And look forward to next year. That's all you can do. What about you in Winnipeg?
Well, Winnipeg has a lot of problems. I'll talk about it in a second. So you guys are definitely going to need a second line center.
Yes, very much so.
Where do you guys look? Where I keep thinking you guys look to Calgary and an old friend.
Kadri.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. It's going to
I
cost. Yeah, he
my
had a
two
bad
thoughts on
season in
that.
Calgary. Like, do they try?
Yeah, my two thoughts on that were either try to get Kadri back or sign Ryan O'Reilly because he's been there before. Ryan O'Reilly, he knows the organization and everything.
Yep. I think he was wasn't he drafted by Sakic?
I'm pretty sure we drafted him.
Yep.
So it would be interesting to me to see him back and see if he could fill that hole. I mean, he's a fantastic player when he wants to be.
He was.
Yeah,
He's older.
when he wants to be. He's older now. But as a I don't like the term rental players. I think that's not nice to the players.
Well, it won't be wouldn't be a rental player. As if you got Ryan O'Reilly, you'd probably sign him for 2 years, I would imagine. A rental player is more of a guy that you would get at the trade deadline. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, that kind of guy that you sign because you have an injury that is going to be a season or what, just to fill that hole until that guy comes back. That's still kind of also a rental player.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, as long as he has no big future there or whatever.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'd love to have Kadri back more than I'd love to have Ryan O'Reilly, but I could see them going the Ryan O'Reilly route because they just have to pay Ryan O'Reilly. They wouldn't have to give anything up for him.
Yeah.
And we don't have much in the way of like prospects and things that we can give up to anybody because we, sort of mortgaged the house to win the cup last year and
worked,
but but it has left us kind of without like some draft picks and some high ranking prospects to trade. So there's that.
You guys have always been good at bringing players up, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's GMs with eyes on your AHL team and stuff like that right now, thinking, okay. But yeah, I think Kadri would be a great fit back. The contract is long, but if the injury to Landeskog is true, where it could mean, it could mean his career. Then it fits. It will fit. Yeah. He also already fits there. You won with him.
Yeah.
I think it just makes sense.
The deal with Landeskog is he had knee cartilage transplant surgery, which is what Lonzo Ball had in the NBA, and there's all these rumors that Chicago expects Lonzo Ball to never play again now.
Yep.
So I would not be surprised if there's a press conference halfway through next season or whatever, and it's Landeskog saying
He's not going to retire.
yeah.
As long as that contract is as long as the contract is, he won't retire because Colorado will happily pay him so they can use his money on LTIR. So
I mean,
there's no way
that's
he
true.
retires. It's the same
That's
thing
true.
with Brian Little when he had his injury when he got that. Like the poor guy had so many bad injuries, but he got a slap shot to the ear from his own teammate.
Ooh.
Yeah, and yeah, it knocked out his equilibrium, and we ended up trading his rights to or his contract to the Coyotes and stuff like that. So after a year or so, um, but yeah, he's never stepped foot in Phoenix other than to play. So that's just the way those kind of things goes. Yeah, and so yeah, Landeskog coming back, of course, would be the prize. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, like you're saying, it's going to be tough to see him come back and be. And I think they have to think about their actual future now. Getting Kadri back helps out, and at that price, at 7.5 or whatever he's making, I think it
Yeah.
works for them.
Yeah.
It's a long term though. Like he still
Yeah.
has to get paid for another 5 years. So, um,
Um,
but yeah, enough about the Colorado goddamn Avalanche and their winning ways, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Let's talk about a team that hasn't won shit and probably won't win anything for a while. My beloved Winnipeg Jets. Um, so started out game busters. This has happened before. After the Jets made the Western Conference Finals in 2018 when we lost to Vegas again, um, we started out that next year again like gangbusters, and then about January everything fell to shit. Eventually, we lost out to St. Louis. St. Louis goes on to win the Stanley Cup. Same thing this year. We were first in the Western Conference at one point in December, January, and everything fell to shit. We lose to Vegas again, first round. Problem is now with the way the contracts were done and stuff like that, we are going to supposedly lose a bunch of stars. Number one,
yeah.
Pierre-Luc Dubois. Uh, I'm a fan of the way he plays. I'm not a fan of the man personally. Uh, he's already said he's not going to sign here long term, which is his right. He'll be a restricted free agent again. It was always a rumor him going to Montreal. Looks like he's opened himself up to agreeing to go to a few other teams and stuff like that. So we'll see what can happen. The big problem is Connor Hellebuck also wants to move on. And he said it's rumored and it's said through the Athletic that he has decided that his next contract will be with another team, not with the Jets. He won't resign. So again, puts us in a pickle. But at least with Hellebuck, we're in a pickle of this guy is probably the second best goaltender in the league behind Vasilevsky.
Mm-hmm.
Only 1 year remaining on his contract, but with teams looking to win now and teams with open spots, let's say a Buffalo, let's say a New Jersey Devils, Los Angeles Kings, like there's so many different teams that could use Connor Hellebuck that have the assets to acquire him. But it's going to take a lot. We're going to need roster player, their top prospect, at least one first round pick. It's going to, you're going to get people saying, well, he's getting older. It's like, guys, goaltenders get better as they get older. He's 29 years old or 30. He's probably got 9 years left in him. That's a 9-year window of winning. So you're gonna have to pay the piper to get him. Hopefully Chevy actually does something. Hopefully he doesn't sit on his hands again this summer. Just go out to the cabin Just wait for everything to happen. Because here's the deal: Winnipeg. Like, I love living here. I think it's great. Uh, it's always going to be like the number one spot where players don't want to get traded, and we have such a hard time bringing in free agents for whatever reason, because everyone's been a rich, spoiled brat their entire life, and they expect everything and stuff like that. Like, guys, it's here. Like, you guys are in for a night. You guys are in for a night. That's why you don't ever see it. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Uh, we need to draft and develop, and we need to get young guys. So we need young players coming back. It's like an established guy or whatever coming back. And any of these trades really doesn't do us any good. But we have such good players coming, and I think we just need to get that veteran leadership. Supposedly the room's been toxic forever. Blake Wheeler is still around in the last year of his $8.25 million contract or whatever, which I'll say he's lived up to. But supposedly he's a pain in the ass, and that's why we had to trade Patrick Laine, for instance. The two just did not get along. We got Pierre-Luc Dubois, and now look what's happening with this. We also have Mark Scheifele on his last year. Mark Scheifele, the first ever draft pick of the Winnipeg Jets. Love the guy. He just does not want to play friggin' defense. It drives me nuts, but he's a 40-goal scorer. Is there a market for him? Who knows? Is there a market for him to come back? Who knows? It's puzzling. There's a lot going on in Winnipeg, a lot of which is going to be settled, I think, within the next 2 weeks, leading up to the draft, which is going to lead us to this isn't the season finale of the show. We will be doing another show to recap the draft that's coming up, and also the first days of free agency, and we'll be doing that in what day is it? Like, I guess we'll be doing it in a couple weeks here, guys. So hang tight. We're not done with the season, even though Vegas finished off the season proper. We still have a little bit of business to do, Adelia.
Yes, we do. Well, let's take a moment and hear from Justin on how you can help support the channel.
Boy. Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Hambone, just here to let you know a couple of things that we have going on with the channel. One, we have a Patreon. If you can and want to support us, you can do that. As little as $1. You can join the Discord. We also have a merch store where you can get some cool shirts, mugs, and stuff with all of our different shows and labels on there. And thank you for all of our supporters that have already been there with us.
And if you want to support the channel, that's patreon.com/LGR_network. $1 a month gets you into the Discord, where you can hang out in voice chat with me and Snark and others and discuss anything and everything like we do.
That's right. Also, I enjoy that picture of that full frontal hug that he's giving there, too. There's that weird picture with the guy with the long fingers and stuff, too. Weird. Mm-hmm. Not medical, I can tell you that.
All right. Anything else we should talk about, Snark?
No. God damn it. Okay. The Vegas Golden Knights have finally won the Stanley Cup. Congratulations.
Yeah, they've waited that whole long 6 years of existence.
You got to hand it to the owner, though. He was saying.
Yeah, you do.
He was saying Stanley Cup in 6 years. Like, an aggressive. And yeah, he didn't. Like, they pull no punches. Like, they get rid of fan favorites because they know they have to win. They had an idea. We need to win, and they goddamn did it. So congratulations to them. Ruthlessness works.
It does.
In certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
Not in Winnipeg.
Congrats to Vegas. Congrats again to Caleb. Oof, he's the only Vegas Golden Knights fan I know of. Yeah. So.
That's right. The other one that probably only counts.
True. Mm-hmm. If we got nothing else to talk about, Snark, where can we find you in the off season?
Oh my gosh! Well, you'll find me at Snark Yeti on Twitter. But yeah, you'll find me there. Let's see, what else are we doing? We're gonna have something coming up here pretty soon to fill our time. we haven't decided when the exact date we're going to be dropping that stuff on, but watch for Adelia and I continuing on. Maybe not in the sports, arena. Maybe it'll be on our regular channel, LGR Network. But also, you can find me. You can't find me on Starting 11 because that's wrapped up. Wait for that at the end of August. I've been doing a lot of things with Entertainment News Break on the big channel. Also doing Indiana Jones reviews. Just waiting for Justin to come and explain why he thinks the Temple of Doom is the best Indiana Jones movie. I was flabbergasted when I heard that. I can't wait to hear him explain it. That'll be happening very soon. We'll be covering all the Indiana Jones movies. We'll be doing it now fairly quickly, I hope, as the Indiana Jones, was it The Dial of Destiny, opening very soon in theaters. That's about it for me. How about you, Adelia?
You can find me on the Rally with Ferris. We'll be doing an episode wrapping up Roland Garros and previewing the grass court season in this upcoming week. And be doing lots of Rally episodes about tennis this summer, hopefully. So Wimbledon, US Open still to come.
Nice.
And you can find me on Twitter at Adelia Chambo. I pop up on other things here and there, but not as often as maybe I was when Starting 11 was going. Because that was guaranteed us every week. We will have that project that Snark was alluding to. That'll be on our sister channel, LGRN Entertainment. Links to that are in the description. Please subscribe over there. We would really appreciate it. And subscribe to this channel. We are so close to 100 subscribers on the Highlights YouTube channel. Please subscribe. And click the notification bell. Set the notification settings to whatever you want, because I don't think they work anyways. And we will be back in a couple of weeks with that wrap-up show with the draft and the beginning of free agency. And until then, we will see you.